Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're fine. I hope you're having a great time. I hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope you're having a great holiday season in general. So FPL, obviously the games are in full swing, and this is the last game week before the January transfer window and all the madness of the Christmas holidays ends. So looking forward to kind of January transfer window, looking at new faces that many of the teams are going to add, and potentially Salah and Son going away to their respective tournaments, and Haaland coming back to full fitness. Kevin De Bruyne is going to come back as well. So a lot of things to look forward to, guys. So on that note, I kind of welcome you all to today's stream. And before I get started and answer your questions, I'd just like to talk about how my game week 19 went. Hey Nehal, welcome. He says is it worth doing Darwin plus Archer to Solanke plus Alvarez for a -4? Will be benching Palmer. Nehal, personally, I don't think so. I guess just Darwin to Alvarez should be enough, because Solanke doesn't even have a good fixture. Not just in this one, even in the upcoming weeks, he doesn't have really good fixtures. And potentially in Game Week 21, if Haaland comes back, you'll probably need him back, So I guess just Darwin to Alvarez should be good enough, to be honest with you. I don't think you need a -4. That way you'll play Palmer as well. Hey Fadzali, welcome to the stream, my friend. So yeah, just gonna talk about my team, for a short while, and then gonna go and answer your questions, guys. So the game week started. As it ended, guys. Obviously Salah, I was my captain. It's just didn't happen for him. He did have a lot of chances. He created a lot of chances, but just didn't happen for him. And Gordon, obviously yellow card, and the only good thing about that, the opening few games, was I guess a Solanke penalty and Archer getting an assist. But beyond that, guys, it was horrible, but I still had a lot of hope in the last two fixtures, in which Spurs were playing Brighton and Arsenal were playing West Ham, because I had 4 players, and Areola was unfortunately on my bench. And yes, Son and Porro. Porro was he conceded 4 goals. He still got 2 bonus points and an assist. This guy is a bonus points magnet, I tell you, guys. And Son did get an assist as well, but it was a poor performance by Spurs. And then Arsenal against West Ham, they lost the game, unfortunately. It was a double whammy for me, being an Arsenal fan as well as owning 2 players in FPL. Saka hit the post, Gabriel, again conceded 2 goals. So all in all, it was a pathetic game week, I have to say. And just move on, guys. Let's just look forward to the upcoming game week, and after that the break, and then Game Week 21, and potentially plan for the future as to what we want to do from now onwards. So this was all about my own team, guys. Let me take you over to pick team, and then let me answer your questions. So Fadzali says, you and me, we are in a shit rank. Fadzali, it doesn't make a difference, to be honest with you. I guess we still have a lot of time to turn it around, and potentially we will turn it around, right? So keep the faith and keep making right decisions, bro. It's all gonna be fine. Tariq says, can you give us prediction for double game weeks and blanks? Tariq, it's kind of hard to give the prediction right now. But obviously, potentially, City is gonna have a double game week, and Luton, obviously, potentially they're gonna have a double game week. But when is it going to happen? I think it's a bit premature for me to predict. But I guess if you're on a wild card, I guess it would be handy for you to kind of pick up a few Luton players, or one Luton player, I guess, at least, so that you can take advantage of the double game week. Obviously Brentford as well in the coming future, but that don't really want to recommend players from Brentford at the moment, because just struggling a bit with injuries and just the fixture pile up as well. Nehal says, I went from 60k to 240k in the last 2 game weeks. Whoa, that's a big fall, Nehal. But I mean, many people in the game would give anything to be at 240k at this moment in time. So be positive, man, and just make the right decisions. The decisions which got you to 60k will eventually be the decisions that get you back up. So just keep playing the way you are playing. Not every game week is ours. Not every decisions can go our way. But overall, we have to look at the bigger picture. So keep playing the same way. That's the only advice that I have for you. And I don't think that a -4 is worth it. I'd say just Darwin to Alvarez could be enough. Fazali says double game week 25: City, Liverpool, Brentford, Luton, and Liverpool, Luton, Chelsea, Spurs. Yeah, that's that's kind of the one we're looking at. I just love for the Premier League to kind of confirm. But obviously City and Brentford had blank game weeks and they have to kind of compensate for that. I hope Haaland is back by then. When the City double game week happens eventually, it would be an easy captaincy then. Afternoon, Imran. Season greetings, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well in FPL as well. Fadzili says, are you going with Alvarez too? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's an easy pick at the moment in time when Haaland is not playing. I mean, he's on penalties and whatnot. So I guess it's the easiest transfer to make against Sheffield United. You need to have a City attacker. So either it's gonna have to be Foden or it has to be Alvarez. Bernardo Silva. Many people are going with Bernardo as well. I personally don't really rate him as an attacker in the City team. It all depends where he plays. Potentially he's going to be playing on the right hand side because Foden's going to move to the left if Grealish doesn't play. So yeah, let's see what happens. Thoughts on Walker? I still have cash. I wish somehow he starts so next week I can do Estupinan in. Walker is fine. I mean, if he's the only City defender that I really consider because all the others are just rotated too heavily. I mean, Akanji, Ake, they're all just too rotation prone for me. So I guess if I have to consider a City defender, it has to be Walker. Although this season his attacking threat has been minimal. Nehal says yes, makes me question my decision making, kind of fogged in my head after negative variance. Nehal, I mean, I've been the victim of negative variance all this season, and I still am going ahead with my decisions and the way I play. I'm not changing it. So negative variance, obviously it makes you feel bad, and but if you change the way you play, then you're not giving the variance a chance to fall on your own side. So I'm just playing the way I do, and I'm hoping for the variance to kind of help me here. Gordon to Foden. Well, Fadzali, that is a move which could be made, of course. But if you see, Gordon has like 2 or 3 difficult fixtures here. But beyond that, I mean, we would want Gordon for these fixtures: Luton, Nottingham, Bournemouth, Wolves, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Everton, Fulham. I mean, the good fixtures, and eventually you're gonna want him back anyway. So yes, I could do Gordon to Foden, but I guess next week I'm gonna have to transfer out 2 midfielders anyway in Salah and Son. So I'm not potentially looking at Foden. Nail says, what are your feelings on Saka? Hey Zara, welcome to the stream, my friend. Nail, I mean, my feelings on Saka are that he is, he's been in a good positions. Maybe he's been a tad unlucky. I mean, to be honest with you, in terms of FPL, yes, he's been getting a few fluky assists, and but he is in the dangerous positions for Arsenal. I mean, against West Ham, he had hit the post. He had a beautiful header saved by Areola point blank. So it's not like he's just out of games. He's getting into the right positions. He's getting the chances. And I'd say if you want an Arsenal attacker, and I guess Saka has to be the one you have to consider. That's the only thing there is to it. What happened to Arsenal attacking wise? Well, firstly, if you see the game, it wasn't that Arsenal didn't attack. The problem was their finishing. I mean, even at the end, Gabriel Jesus had like such easy headers to kind of score. But when it's not your day, I mean, if you look at the game, Saka got a beautiful chance, a back heel by Odegaard in the 3rd minute, and Saka just hit it straight at Ariola and a comfortable height for him to save it. It just wasn't to be, is what I'd say, rather than anything wrong with Arsenal's attack. I think the only thing wrong with Arsenal's attack is maybe Martinelli. So that's the only thing which might be wrong with Arsenal. I think Martinelli is not performing. Zinchenko, I guess, costs us a bit in terms of when we want to hold on to possession. He sometimes gives away the ball too easily. I mean, he's brilliant sometimes and he's below average sometimes. So it's hard to kind of, quantify how he plays, Zinchenko. Imran says last game week was good, scored 58, got a massive rank boost. Wow, that's awesome, man. I mean, last week was really tough for me and many others in FPL. I mean, 58 is amazing. I mean, that's like 20 points above the average, and it's absolutely amazing, I'd say. Fazali says if you go for Alvarez, you will probably still transfer him out for Haaland. The thing is, I'm not even sure when Haaland is back, so first, I'll have him for the Sheffield United game. Secondly, if he comes back, I'm not sure if I'm going to transfer him out for Haaland, or maybe I'll transfer Solanke. So at least it gives me the options, I just need the options. Secondly, I do not want to bring in Foden because I don't want to transfer out Salah or Son 1 game week premature. So I don't really have an option unless I want to take out Gordon, which is obviously possible, but I'd say if Alvarez is on penalties and he's the lone striker, then I want Alvarez rather than Foden. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Thakif says, hey, where's best replacement for Poro? Thakif, I'm not even sure Poro needs to be replaced. I mean, why would you replace Poro is my question. Bournemouth, Brentford, Everton, Brighton, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Fulham, Luton, West Ham. Do you really want to replace him? I'm not so sure. If I was you, I would simply keep Poro. But if you have to replace him, then obviously you can think of going with Trent Alexander-Arnold in that sense, because Trent Alexander-Arnold obviously after Salah goes, I think he becomes even more influential in that particular team. And I mean, if you don't want to spend all that much money, then you can obviously think about Malo Gusto. You can actually downgrade, can save some money. You can go for Gusto because Chelsea have some decent fixtures, and with the Reece James being out for the longer term, I guess Malo Gusto is going to get a lot of game time, and he's been attacking as well, so you can go there as well. Best replacement for Romero. This is the same answer, Thakif. You can either upgrade or you can downgrade. In the similar price bracket, I don't really think there's too many defenders that you might want to consider at this moment in time. So either you can downgrade to somebody like Malo Gusto. I think Chelsea's got good fixtures as well, and not immediately, but longer term, I think Chelsea's fixtures are all right. And or you have to kind of totally upgrade him for somebody like a Trent. There's no average defenders which I would really want to own at this moment in time. I think you already have the ones you want to own. Nehal says, yeah, data and eye test suggest Saka is a hold, but then FPL points are not translating. Nehal, the thing is, as if we transfer Saka out, there's not many better options than same price bracket. You want to get maybe Bruno Fernandes could be the one because of the fact that they're reinvigorated because of the new ownership, and Sir James Ratcliffe, he's now bought a stake and has now will be kind of getting new faces and the club is kind of excited, the crowd is kind of excited, so Bruno Fernandes could be a decent option to go for. But beyond that, I don't really like any options in the same price bracket, and especially from Arsenal, I don't like any other options. I don't like Martinelli, I don't like Odegaard or Havertz or anybody else. So I guess Saka is the one. Fadli says, any chance we're getting Chelsea team news? I mean, I hope so. I hope so. Still on Twitter, I'm going to be checking if I get any team news or if we get any team news on Twitter. I'll definitely update you guys. But as of now, there hasn't been any. But I just, I hope we get some team news. I honestly think that Malo Gusto is going to get a lot of game time here. CAV says, happy holidays, Wiz. Had a stinker last few weeks and we go again. Happy holidays, my friend. And well, CAV, it's just the life of an FPL manager. It's just a few good game weeks, a few bad game weeks. It's just like continuous up and down. It's like a few crests and a few troughs. It's like a sinusoidal wave, or you can say it's like a bell curve. We only hope that it's skewed to our right side, so we can have more up weeks than the down weeks, and that's the only thing we can hope for. But it happens. Just keep playing the way you're playing. Whatever worked for you once will work again. Just don't change your style. That's the only thing I always recommend. Neil says, like the stream, y'all guys, please hit like. I really appreciate that. Summonly says, 2 free transfers, only using one: Jimenez to Alvarez, bench Richarlison, or Richarlison to Foden. I would actually play Richarlison. Summonly, I'd say if Jimenez to Alvarez is good, and then don't bench Richarlison. Play Alvarez and play Richarlison. I'd like that. Surfros says, hey Viz, Gordon to Alvarez. I wish Surfros I could do Gordon to Alvarez, but Alvarez is a striker and Gordon is a midfielder, so it's not possible to do that. So in that sense, Gordon to Foden can be done, or any forward to Alvarez is the option. CAV says, if Colville confirmed not starting, I'll do Cash to Moreno or Konza. If not, either role or Diaby to Foden. Yeah, I guess those moves make sense. I don't know why Colville was taken off at 58 minutes last week. It was a bit kind of difficult for me to understand. Let's hope we get some Chelsea team news. Actually, you know what? Let's actually go really quickly and see what the Chelsea fans think about Colville starting. I think this will give us a fair idea, and we'll still hope that we get some team news. But let's just quickly read the Chelsea predictions. There you go. So obviously Petrovic is starting, Badiashile 42%, Disasi 62%, Colville is 96%. So you see here, 96% of the fans seem to think that Colville will start. Hey Jugs, I hope you're doing well. I'll come back and answer your questions, guys. Just give me a second. Let's just go through these predictions real quick, and I'll come back and answer your questions. So Petrovic, 100%, and 42 for Badiashile and 62 for Disasi. Silva 100%. Colville is 96%, which is encouraging. Gusto, as I already told you, 4.1 million Chelsea defender. Malo Gusto is 100% to start. Gallagher, obviously. Caicedo. Mudryk, I think he took a knock or was injured. I guess he's not going to start. Nkunku 73%, which is interesting. Jackson 75%, Sterling 88%. Palmer is 100%. Madueke is 36%. So overall, I think Chelsea team is fairly fixed. Which one is going to start? There's only, I think, one doubt is between the centre backs. Which one is going to start alongside Silva? Because right back, left back is pretty much nailed on. So let's see what happens. But beyond that, I think Nkunku, yes, I think he can start. Arsenal, I think they're fairly... We know who's going to start for Arsenal, so there's no point in looking at that. Newcastle team is already almost the same. Manchester City, we can have a look. Ederson 100%, Lewis 57%, Ruben Dias 64, Stones obviously injured, Guardiola, Akanji. This is the reason why I don't recommend you to go for the Manchester City strikers, Otherwise, you see Lewis, Ruben Dias, Guardiola, Akanji, everybody. The only one which is nailed on, or according to the fans, is Walker, and that is the only one I recommend you go for if you're going for a City, a City defender. Beyond that, Bernardo Silva 100%, Rodri 100%, Foden, Grealish, Alvarez. Now Grealish again, people are a little bit dubious about. He had some incident at his home, so maybe these predictions came in before that incident or before the news came out. So I'm not so sure about Grealish anymore. But let's see what happens here. Manchester United, Spurs. I think is fairly nailed on. I think the only one issue I think is maybe the midfield. 28% think Højbjerg is going to start and 72% think Skip is going to start. Beyond that, everybody's pretty nailed on. And yeah, so I guess that's about it. Aston Villa, people obviously interested with still own Matty Cash because they play against Burnley. Cash is 41%, Carlos is 59%, Torres is 29%. It's a bit tough to predict what's going to happen here. But that's the reason I always recommended going with Konza, because he's the only one which is nailed and can play in 2 positions. You see what's going to happen here. Diaby, Jacob Ramsey, Zaniolo. So it's all up in the air with Aston Villa at the moment in time. It's hard to predict what's going to happen here. Newcastle, obviously, I think it's the only doubt is between Dan Burn and Tino Livramento, and the fans seem to think that Livramento is going to start over Dan Burn. Otherwise, I think most of the team is pretty much decided, nailed on. Brighton, Arsenal, we already know who's going to start. The only doubt is I think Havertz and Trossard, beyond which I think there's no other doubts, and I think Havertz is going to start there. I guess that's about it. Liverpool, I guess we can have a look, but Liverpool we already know. Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate, because Tsimikas is now injured, so there's nobody left to play on the left hand side. So Gomez is going to start. Endo obviously playing well. Soboslai, Jones, Salah. The only doubt is obviously Darwin. People think is going to start. The other position on the left hand side is the one which people think Jota, Diaz, and Gakpo are the potential candidates, and it's very hard to predict which is going to start. I guess Jota scored last week, but I guess it has to be Diaz initially, and Jota can come on if needed. So guys, I mean, that was all about the predictions, and we started with the Colville dilemma, and the prediction seemed to think that Colville is going to start. Right, so let me answer your questions now. Hey Jugs, I hope you're doing well. Thakif, best Romero replacement, I guess you can go for Malo Gusto or a Chelsea defender. I think he's cheap and he's it's gonna do alright. Otherwise you can think about Konza as well, Aston Villa defense. Zara says, had He-Chan on my team last game week, thinking what to do with him, sell him this game week or wait till the next one. Any good replacement for him in a similar price bracket? Already have Palmer and Kudus. Zara, the thing is, He-Chan is going to the the Asian Cup that is going to happen, the tournament. So He-Chan is not going to be available in game week 21 anyway, and he was taken out injured as well. So I guess it's a good idea to take him out if I was you. Who to replace him with? I mean, really, the only option in the similar price bracket, I guess, is Garnacho if you want to go there. Otherwise, you have to kind of put in some more money. Otherwise you can't kind of. Bernardo Silva, you can think about Bernardo Silva as well. I mean, if you really want in the similar price bracket as well. Michael says, where's my squad is Areola, Gabriel, Colville, Poro, Trent, Salah, Son, Saka, Palmer, Watkins, Solanke. Subs are Dubravka, Udogie, Adingra, and Mubama. 3.1 in the bank. 2 free transfers. What to do? I guess Dubravka's, Udogie, Adingra, Mubama. Saka, Son. So basically you've got Areola, Gabriel, Colville, Poro, Trent. So we've got 4 defenders. Are you playing a 4-4-2? This is the most inflexible kind of formation, Michael. I'd suggest you to kind of what you can do is maybe move on Mubama for Alvarez, I guess. That is the only move that makes sense, and save the other free transfer, because next week you have to take out Salah and Son to get back if Haaland is back anyways, so you'll get the money, so money is not an issue. So I guess move Mubama for Alvarez, I guess. Any chance Nkunku starts? Yeah, we already discussed that. Salmon Lee says it's a tight benching decision. If I start Richarlison, who to bench among Solanke, Palmer, and Saka? Yeah, I mean amongst that, it is a difficult decision, of course. The only one you can think about is maybe Solanke, because Richarlison is playing as a striker. But obviously Solanke's been amongst the goals, so it feels hard to bench him, and I totally understand where you're coming from. But it is still a tough fixture away from home at Spurs, so yeah, that is the only one which can be considered. Sir Crocodile says, "Who are you captaining?" Well, it is a dilemma, Sir Crocodile. The thing is, it is between basically between three players for me. I would not. In fact, it is between four players, as in Salah, Son, Watkins, and Alvarez. I would not captain Palmer personally. Because Luton has been a bit hot and cold. It's hard to predict what they're gonna do. So I don't want to captain Palmer, but I think it has to be between Salah, Son, Watkins, and Alvarez. At this moment in time, I have it on Salah, but it is still a very, very tough decision to kind of. It's basically it has to swing, one way or another this week, because the captaincy spread will be real this time. I don't think it's gonna be all people on the same captain. So I think the spread is gonna be a lot. So let's see what happens. I'm just thinking here. CAV says got Walker in last week, was between him and Gomez. Hopefully it pays off long term. I think it will. I think Walker is fairly secure amongst the City defenders. Play Solanke against a leaky Spurs. Yeah, well, that's the whole issue. Surfro says there's a bit of confusion. Archer to Alvarez, at Gordon to Foden. I guess it's about the structure of your team, Surfros, more than anything. I mean, technically there is nothing suggesting me that taking out Gordon is required at the moment. Like later on, we might want him back as well, Anthony Gordon. So that is the whole issue. And after a couple of weeks, he has some good fixtures as well. So I don't really want to take out Gordon and alter the structure of my team. And secondly, I think because Alvarez is on penalties for City, I think Alvarez is the better option against Sheffield. But since you're going, because in the end you'll have to invest money everywhere. Even Gordon to Foden will require some money, but going from Archer to Alvarez requires a lot of money. That means altering the structure of your team, going from potentially a 3-4-3 or a 4-4-2 to kind of having three strikers. So that is the only thing you need to consider. Romero to Estupinan. Yeah, I mean that is a transfer which you can make. Especially if even if Estupinan is not fit at this moment in time, but I think he will be fit in the in game week 21, and he scored a cracking goal as well on his return, showing everybody what people have been missing in the defense. Cinema Crazy says, I have Leno and Turner for this week. Who would you start? Well, that is an interesting one. I mean Leno against Arsenal. It's a tough one. The problem with Fulham have been in the past few weeks they have been leaky. Otherwise they were good for a very long term, but the past few weeks they've conceded a few goals. Fulham. And they've lost to teams like Bournemouth and Burnley, which they were expected to beat. So I guess it has to be Turner. Akmal says wildcard need to use this game week. Yes, if you have your wildcard, if you don't use your wildcard now, it's going to expire, Akmal. So you have to use your wildcard. Don't have enough for Alvarez, says Michael. then I guess then the options are very limited in that sense, Michael, because I guess Adingra to Bernardo Silva could be a move which you could think about, but technically speaking, the options are limited because of the funds. You know, I guess Adingra to Bernardo Silva, just to play the fixture, is an option. Beyond that, I don't think. But since you've got 2 free transfers, then you have to kind of make one. Since you already got Poro, I think you can move on Udogi for somebody like Malo Gusto. Will help you later on. Or you can simply, even you don't want to double up on the Chelsea defense, you can move on Colville for Malo Gusto. You know, that's also a possibility. Play Colville or Trippier is... that's a tough one. I don't expect Trippier to keep a clean sheet. But Trippier always, can deliver attack in the attacking sense. On the other hand, Colville obviously doesn't attack much or offer anything much in the attack. So I guess if you have Trippier, then play Trippier, bro. Paz says Mitoma to Saka. Already have Salah, Son, Hichan, and Kudus. I mean, Mitoma's playing, right? So, I mean, why would you really want to kind of take out... sorry, I mean... Man. So, Mitoma's obviously out, so... you have to take... The problem is Hichan as well is out. He's going for the Asian tournaments. So, basically, you've got 2 problems in the midfield. So you can do Mitoma to Saka. I mean, for this week, actually, you can do Mitoma to Foden as well if you want. But then later on, you're going to have a problem, Faz, next week, because you'll have Salah who's not playing, you'll have Son who's not playing, and you'll have Hichan Wong who's not playing. So it's going to be a bit of an issue, bro. Are you starting Dubravka? No. That's a mistake. No, I'm starting Ariola. Of course, I'm starting Ariola. Ariola kept a clean sheet against Arsenal, man. So I have to start him. That was just an honest mistake. Start Palmer or Darwin? Man, pineapple pie. That's such a difficult question. Why not start both? What other options do you have, pineapple pie? Can you share the full team? Then I can tell you. But if I had to start one, I'd say I'd start Palmer, but Darwin's 2 goals against Newcastle come to mind. So yeah. Can you tell me the rest of your team so I can give you a better decision? Devendra says Ariola, Saliba, Carlos, Ben Davies, Garnacho, Bowen, McGinn, Saka. Well, you got a very differential team, my friend. McGinn, Saka, Salah, Watkins, Alvarez, Haaland, Lascelles, Maguire, Dubravka. Any suggestions for the coming weeks? Watkins and Alvarez look good. Obviously, Bowen is fine. Garnacho, McGinn, Saka, Salah are okay. Not really. Looking at the structure of your team, not really, my friend. I guess you look set. Nothing needs to be done, I guess. The only thing which you can do is possibly move on Maguire for Malo Gusto, or maybe Lascelles for Malo Gusto. That's the only thing I can suggest. Start. I think I answered that. Bench Saka or Palmer? Starting Solanke, Darwin, and Watkins. Out of these 2, I guess bench. Difficult one. They're both on penalties, and Solanke, Darwin, and Watkins. I guess I'd bench Palmer based on the opposition difficulty. Fulham at this moment in time are more leaky than Luton. So yeah. This is a difficult one, Gokul, I give you that. I currently have cash. Hope he starts. If he doesn't, I'm planning to get Estupinan in case that was my plan for next week, but had to be done 1 week earlier. That's fine. I think you can do that. It's definitely doable. Fast says hi Viz, play Sterling or Solanke. I would play Sterling, Faz. Uh, I think Sterling has a better fixture, and if Mudryk doesn't start, then Sterling gets a chance to play on his favoured left hand side. I think that can influence. And the last time he played there, I think he did really well. Good replacement for Shimikash. I mean, like for like replacement is simply Gomez. If you don't want to go there, you can go with Gusto as well. You can think about Ezri Konsa. Stupinan obviously is more expensive, but you can go there as well, even 1 week before that. Stupinan or Gusto, I think they're both great options. Thakif. I think Stupinan, the issue with Stupinan is we're not sure how fit he is to start the entire game, but you know, it looks good to go. On the other hand, Malo Gusto looked really advanced, really good, and the fixtures are favorable as well. So yeah, saves you some money too. I mean, Stupinan you can obviously get next week because this week they already have a tougher game against West Ham. Archer to Alvarez and cash to Gusto for a -4. Nehal, I mean, that looks like a better -4 to take because, I think you're upgrading both the positions. I think that is a better -4 to take rather than the previous one which you were suggesting. Richarlison to or Bernardo Silva, who would be the better replacement for Kudus? I guess Richarlison because of the fixture as well, and because of the fact that when Son goes to the Asian Cup, I think Richarlison will become more influential, and he'll be more central, more attacking, and get more chances will fall to him, I guess, when Son is gone. So Richarlison, I guess. Yasa says, hi Viz, I have 2 free transfers this game week, thinking of getting a Stupinan for Trippier and rolling the other free transfer. I guess that if you want to get an Stupinan early, I guess that is absolutely fine, especially with Newcastle's fixtures becoming difficult. I guess that's not a bad ploy at all. Playing my wildcard, Kabore to Taylor, Mitoma to Saka, Kudus to Bowen, Ichan to Palmer, I guess. I don't know your full team, so it's hard for me to make a comment, but I guess Palmer. That's the one. I don't know, because I have to know your full team before I can actually comment on that, bro. Are you bringing in Alvarez, says AN. Well, I am thinking of bringing in Alvarez. I mean, I'm just waiting for the team news. I mean, in case I get a team news that Colville isn't starting, for example, then I might change my plan, because in that sense, I'll need at least my defense, because I don't want to play Charlie Taylor against Aston Villa. Then I might take out Lichells for Malo Gusto and play him instead, and then not bring in Alvarez, and then I'll have to play Anthony Gordon against Liverpool. So it all depends on if we get early Chelsea team news, and that is exactly why I haven't made my transfer yet, and I'm waiting to get any team news if we get one. So let's see what happens. I'm just waiting on any team news here. Pineapple Pie. Aman says, Kidnaviz, hope all is good. My team is Ariola, Poro, Walker, Trent, Konza, Salah, Son, Palmer, Saka, Solanke, Alvarez, Watkins. I don't know who to bench out of Walker or Palmer. Thoughts? I guess that's a tough one. You're right. Salah, Son, Palmer, Saka, Solanke. I mean, to be honest with you, what you can do is you can bench. You can bench Konza as well if you want to. Although it looks like a nailed-on clean sheet for. But Konza is not attacking, so I guess the ceiling is low. So in that sense, you can play Palmer and bench Konza. But if I had to choose between Walker and Palmer, I'd say bench Walker and play Palmer. Pineapple Pie says, my team, Poro, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saka, Son, Salah, Foden, Palmer, Watkins, Solanke and Darwin. Now I forgot the question. What was the question? Start Palmer or Darwin, right. Poro, Zinchenko. I mean, we're not concerned about the defense. Saka, Son, Salah, Foden, Palmer. That's a really awesome looking team. Start Palmer or Darwin? That's a difficult one. I guess I'd possibly start Palmer over Darwin. That's a difficult one, Pineapple Pie, but I'd start Palmer over Darwin because he's on penalties. Also, you know, when he plays, I guess he's very influential for the Chelsea team. It's a difficult one, though. I have to give you that. You know, or what you can do is you can play both Palmer and Darwin and bench Solanke if you want. Pass says my attack is Salah, Son, Saka, Bowen, Alvarez, Archer, Watkins, Hechan, 2. You've already got Bowen, you've got Saka, Salah, Son, Foden, I guess. Then you can get, if you have the money, I mean, you can get Foden. You know, so they play Sheffield United after all, and you know, you can double up on the attack if you want. That is, guys. I don't see any. So Haaland is not starting as relayed by FPL Tony. So Haaland is out, guys, out of game week 20. So we're gonna have to be looking at game week 21 for Haaland now. So that, I mean, FPL Tony has relayed that Haaland is not starting. That he's not said who is starting, whether Alvarez is starting or anybody else. Fast says we really have a benching headache this game week. Well, when you have a good team, that is exactly what happens in terms of the benching headache. You know, so yeah, it's a good problem to have. That's all I want to say about it. You know, it's better than having, like, next week, like, Son is going to be out and Salah is going to be out and Hechan and Mitoma and all these guys are going to be going, and so that is a bad problem to have. I think benching headache is a good problem to have. Jug says bench one among first of all, thank you so much for the donation, Jugs. I really appreciate it, my friend. Is bench one among Palmer, Sterling and Saka, and that is a very difficult question. Palmer, Sterling and Saka. I guess, yes, the thing is, Palmer and Saka are both on penalties, and Sterling is obviously now, if Mudryk is not present, he's going to be playing on the preferred left hand side. That's a difficult question, Jugs. Put me in a real fix here to answer that one. I guess what can be done is play Palmer and Saka. They're both penalty taking players, and bench Sterling. But whichever way you go, it has the potential to be a dangerous. It has to be a potential to become a dangerous benching, because the problem with Sterling this season has been, you know, he, in one of the games, he just explodes out of nowhere and scores like these 16-20 points, and then he'll go to sleep for the foreseeable future as well. I mean, against Luton, the last time, I guess he scored a really good. I mean, he gave a really good FPL return as well. So, but I'd say play Palmer and Saka and maybe bench Sterling. That's what I'd possibly do. Or, I mean, if you really trust the Chelsea assets, you can bench Saka and play both Palmer and Sterling, provided you consider that Sterling can give the return which he did against. I mean, let me see. The last time it was against Burnley. Yeah, the last time he played Luton at home, he scored 2 goals, 1 assist, and 19 points. So that would give some confidence. So I guess what you can do is play Palmer and Sterling and bench Saka as well. Either way, it's going to be a very difficult one, Jugs. I don't have a good answer for that. Faz is playing wildcard Dubravka or Turner. Dubravka, I say, Faz. If he's your only keeper, then I wouldn't get Dubravka. But if he's your second keeper, I'd say Dubravka. But to be honest with you, right now I'd say don't go with Dubravka. I'd say go with Turner, because issue is Newcastle might sign a new goalkeeper in the January transfer window. So I changed my mind. Actually, you should go with Turner, because he's now playing, and hopefully he's gonna continue on playing. In case of Dubravka, I think Newcastle might look at a new keeper, because Nick Pope's out for the long haul, and I think they might wanna get a new goalkeeper in this January transfer window. So I'd say Turner. Even the next 3 fixtures for Newcastle are not the best, so I guess Liverpool, City, Aston Villa, not good. So I guess Turner. Yeah. So guys, Darwin to Alvarez or Gordon to Foden? Gordon to Foden or Darwin to Alvarez? I think Gordon to Foden makes more sense if you own... Gordon to Foden, I think it makes more sense to maybe if you own Darwin, because after Salah goes, I think Darwin can become more influential for that Liverpool team. On the other hand, I guess Gordon has difficult fixtures as well, so I think it makes more sense to do Gordon to Foden than Darwin to Alvarez. Salah has blanked in the last 4 game weeks. Reason enough for me to bench him, Viz? I guess so. I guess so, but Salah has blanked the last 4 weeks. But if you see, let us see his XG yesterday. Look at that. He hasn't blanked for a lack of trying. You see his XG 0.58 and XA 0.57. He created chances. He actually, his expected goal involvement was 1.15. That was unfortunate that Arsenal could not score any goals. Otherwise, if you see his expected goal involvement in 3 of those 4 games, 0.94, 1.15, 0.48, and obviously against Liverpool, it had to be tough. So I think yes, you can bench him, but it's not for a want that Saka's gonna blank or anything, or he hasn't been good or anything. I don't think that's the case. Include Salah on a wild card, says Giovanni. No Son, no Haaland. Giovanni, if you want, you can. But the problem is when he goes in, for the African Cup of Nations, then what is your plan? Are you gonna keep him, or are you gonna move him on? That is the whole issue at this moment in time. Hanji, wildcard right now, guys. Just give me a second, please. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. There was somebody at the door. I had to just take it, unfortunately. Include Salah on a wildcard is a difficult one, Gio1. But yes, if you are on a wildcard, you can book 1 transfer, but it would be hard for you to book 2. So I guess I guess include Salah and then get Richarlison and somebody like Pedro Porro, so you can cover for Son in case in case Tottenham actually do well against Bournemouth. That's what can be done. Play Diaby or Sofal. The problem with playing Diaby is I'm not sure if he's going to start. If you think he starts, then I'd play Diaby. Otherwise, play Sofal, because against Brighton, I think Brighton played really well against Spurs. I don't think they're gonna keep a clean sheet, West Ham United. So if you think Diaby starts, then play Diaby. Douglas Luiz, got him in the team. Any thoughts? Yeah, Douglas Luiz is fine. I don't have any issues with him, to be honest with you. I guess he's he's on penalties for Aston Villa, and the Aston Villa team was actually, kind of challenging to go up, to go number 1 in the table when they actually lost the game. So I personally think that it is a great option to have. Yes. If no news, then do you prefer Diaby to Foden move or roll, and then you save the -4 next week? I I mean, obviously next week many people will have to take a -4 anyways, CAV. I mean, it's not just that you're gonna take out Salah for Salah and Son. You're gonna have to bring in Haaland as well if he's fit. So 3 transfers have already been booked. So yes, I mean, definitely it would be handy to have two free transfers next week. That is a given. But still, I feel that there's some cover is needed for the City game as well. I think against Sheffield United, although they've got the new manager bounce and all that stuff, but I still feel that City is going to be too powerful for Aston Villa. City is going to be too powerful for Sheffield United to resist. So you need one player, I guess. Subhajit says whom to bench, Mykolenko or Gordon? Mykolenko. I'd play Gordon. Game late. How many transfers? Oh, game late. So he says, how many transfers do you have and what is your plan? I've got 2 free transfers and my plan is to make 1 free transfer and save the one for next week. So next week I have 2 free transfers. Archer to Alvarez and bench Palmer, Richarlison or roll the free transfer. See, that is the issue. I mean, you already have 2 good players. You're bringing a 3rd good player in and then you have a problem of benching one. If I was you, I'd play both Richarlison and Palmer, my friend. I mean, it only makes sense. For example, my team has Gordon, right? So I can bench Gordon and that is why it is easy for me to kind of bring in Alvarez and play him. But if you already have 2 good players, then, I think that transfer is wasted. Lewis giving any pens to Watkins for his birthday today. By the way, guys, Watkins has his birthday today, if in case that might sway you for in terms of captaincy, you know. He has... Watkins' birthday is today, so maybe Watkins can celebrate his birthday with a hat trick. Who knows what's gonna happen? So yeah, let's see what happens there. Right. What transfers? I'm just gonna move Archer to Alvarez, Jackson. That's my plan. I'm just waiting off the news about Chelsea, but I guess there isn't any forthcoming, guys. Because yeah, I don't see any news. I'm still on Twitter, guys. I'm trying to look through the news. I do not see any news, guys. Nope. I'm just gonna wait for 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna make my transfer. And CAV says I don't have Son, so need Salah out and Haaland in next week. Only a -4. I guess then CAV, I don't think that's a bad -4 to take. I mean, you can make a transfer and get Foden. I guess against Sheffield United we need some players, City players. FPL Duck says transfer made with Garnacho in for Tavernier, Watkins captain, Saka first bench. Man, that is something, Jugs. That is something, bro. That is what I can say is that is brave, or at the very least. I think I'm gonna back him on his birthday, says CAV. Yeah, man. The only reason I don't want to captain Watkins is because the match is like on the very first day of the game. In case he doesn't return well, then you're gonna have to hide behind the sofa when Salah plays or when Son plays. It's just hard, I don't want to spoil my new year. Watkins record versus Burnley games, plays 3 returns all away from home. But I think it's a different Aston Villa, so I don't think we can just look at the previous records only. So I guess it can be good, and Aston Villa need to get back to winning ways, especially losing against United right at the very death. And they're still in a fantastic position, I'd say. Rafa, I don't have any news as of now. I'm waiting. I'm still on Twitter. I'm checking the news. If I have any news, I'll let you know. Bench Gabriel or Konza. Out of these 2, I would bench Gabriel. I would play Konza. My transfer might be Archer to Alvarez, depending on if Colwill starts. So I'm just waiting for any Chelsea team news. If I don't get any team news, I'll possibly simply just Just kind of bring Alvarez and play him. Faz says, did my wildcard Son to Foden, Mitoma to Saka. Yeah, that's fine. Kudus to Bowen, that's great. Hichan to Palmer, Kabore to Charlie Taylor, Dubravka to Turner. Already have Ariola. That's good, Faz. I like those transfers, all of them. Liverpool game is at 1:30. I won't be watching anyway, Viz. Well, that is not a reason for you not to captain him, I guess. But I do watch all the games, by the way. They're at 1:30 a.m. for us here in India. I still watch all the games. So, by the way, guys, Christmas period has gone and there's going to be New Year. And since, there's no deadline until Game Week 21. So, here is a gift to our members or to our viewers from my side. Wish you a very happy New Year, friends. Thank you so much for being on these streams. I really appreciate it. For all those people who've become a member, congratulations, guys, and wish you a very happy New Year. And I hope that you have a great FPL season. And in case you want, you can join our FPL private Twitter group only for members. And just send me a message on Twitter, and I will add you to the group. So congratulations, guys, and wish you a very happy New Year from everyone in the FPL Wizard family. Right, now let's get back to the real deal, innit? Palmer or Gordon? Palmer, Faz. I'd say Palmer. GW20 says, how likely do you think are Villa to get clean sheet on their next 5? It's a little tough to call, but yes, let's try to make a prediction, I guess. See, I guess they'll get a clean sheet here against Burnley. And I guess they can get a clean sheet against Sheffield. I guess it has to be maximum 1 clean sheet between these 2 fixtures. I don't think they're going to get a clean sheet against Newcastle. It's going to be a very tough game. Against Manchester United as well. I think United are reinvigorated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I'll predict 2 out of 5 GW20. I guess 2 out of 5 should be the one. How is Son to Bowen or Archer to Alvarez? Archer to Alvarez, Sanjay, I think makes more sense. Why would you take out Son against Bournemouth, my friend? I guess we should keep him. I have Darwin and Ruben. 1 free transfer. What should I do? Ruben. If I was you, I'd possibly... The issue is I'm not sure if Ruben Diaz is going to play. That's the problem. Otherwise, I would keep Ruben Diaz. What you can do is simply take out Ruben Diaz for Trent Alexander-Arnold, or you can take out Ruben Diaz for Kyle Walker. Short term. Nothing on cash yet. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything on cash anyway. If you're in my position, play cash or transfer him out. Further, if you don't have anything else to do, why would you want to keep cash? The problem is he's in and out of the team. You never know what's going to happen there. And if you have a transfer to burn, then you can simply bring in Konza. At least you'll be secure in that sense. Won't have to worry every week about whether cash starts or not. Aaron says, Wiz, should I play Palmer or Solanke? And how does trips to Alex Moreno sound? I would not do trips to Alex Moreno, my friend. I don't think that's the transfer to make. Palmer or Solanke, I would play... Oh man, it's a bit difficult one, I guess. Palmer or Solanke. They're both on penalties, but I guess Palmer has the easier fixture. So I guess Palmer. But difficult one, Aaron, I'm telling you. I mean, Solanke is in a fantastic vein of form as well. But Trippier to Alex Moreno doesn't sound good to me. Will Zinchenko start despite his dreadful performances recently? I think he will. I think he will start against Fulham. The problem is we don't have any other players. As long as Arteta doesn't want to start Jacob Kiwior there, because Tomiyasu is injured and Julian Timber obviously long-term injury as well. So there are not much options for Arteta to actually play another left back unless he wants to start Kiwior in that position, and that is why I think that Zinchenko is going to start. Captaining Alvarez, why Salah? No, you can captain Alvarez. I think he's a fantastic captaincy option. Is Alvarez? There's not a problem there. I don't see any updates, guys. Guys, if you have any updates, please let me know. I'm on Twitter as well. I don't see anything. By the way, the another reason for captaining Salah, I guess, is he's gonna go to the African Cup of Nations. I guess he's gonna leave on a winning note. That's also one reason for captaining Salah. All right. That sounds so good. And no news for now, George. The only news is Haaland is not playing. Tempted to do Archer to Alvarez, however, definitely need to get Kudus out. I guess, Zara, you need to have a good playing 11, and then you need to strengthen your team. So I guess Kudus to, whichever player you're considering, I guess whichever transfer, I guess that makes more sense. Whether Douglas Luiz or whoever, Garnacho, Bernardo Silva, whichever player you want to bring in, I guess that's the one you should do. Zara says, I don't want to use my 2 free transfers to save it for the next game week in case we need to get Haaland back. That's the same with me. I've got 2 free transfers. And by the way, I've got 5 minutes and I'm still answering questions. Why haven't I made my transfer, guys? I need to make my transfer quickly. We don't have any news, guys. I don't have any news. I'm on Twitter right now. Nothing as of now. It's nothing as of now. Right on. Let's see. Let's make my transfer then. We'll reevaluate in the. We will reevaluate. For now, let's get Alvarez in against Sheffield United, and then we'll consider. Right on. All right, Archer, you've been awesome. But there you go. I've made my transfer, guys. Because I did not have any news about Colville, I made my transfer. That's the whole issue. Now, obviously, Gordon on the bench doesn't look ideal. But, I guess, you're going to have to put one on the bench anyway. There is no news, guys. Trippier to Estupinan would be my suggestion to you, Aaron. Where is Aaron's question? Should I play Palmer or Solanke? Trippier to Estupinan can be the one. I mean, even if it doesn't work this game, long term, I think that's a great option. George says thinking of selling Watkins instead of Solanke for Haaland in future. Also have 2 free transfers, gonna hold 1. It's the same with me. I've got 1 free transfer. I'm holding on to 1. I've made 1, so not an issue. Right. No news, guys. I mean, I'm still on. Yeah. No news, guys. I'm not gonna look at Twitter anymore. I guess there's not gonna be any news. With 3 minutes to go, I guess it's just gonna confuse us more. Thinking of selling one of Konza or Colville for Trent, and then sell Son and Watkins for Haaland and Bowen next week. I think that's fine. If I had to sell one, it would be Colville, not Konza. Brought in Estupinan for Trippier. Roll the other free transfer. Captaining birthday boy Ollie. Wish me luck. Right on. That looks like a good move, yeah. Now about the captaincy, guys. That's the only thing which is left to decide. I mean, Son against Bournemouth does sound tempting, I guess. Son against Bournemouth is definitely a tempting one. Estupinan, or I would go with Estupinan for the longer term, my friend. Guys, captaincy Alvarez or Salah. That's what I've come down to. I guess, let me just... Where is Alvarez? So how much is his ownership? 34%. It's not like it's captaining a differential. Yeah, I guess that's the right decision. Gabriel, Pau, and yeah, that's fine. Diaby to Foden, Watkins captain. Wow, Watkins, a lot of Watkins captains flying around. Right, I guess then I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I guess Salah captain. Let me just refresh. I hope you can see it. Yep, there you go. Guys, please, 1 minute, less than 1 minute to the deadline. Please, whatever you want to do it right now. We won't have time later. Initially, I wanted to make like Alvarez captain, but I think that 34% ownership doesn't really make him a differential. So I guess that is the reason I'm gonna go with Salah. Newcastle haven't been defense. Yeah, Colville to Trent was the right move. I would have held on to Konza, my friend. I guess that's the right one. 20 seconds to go. Please lock your teams, guys. Please do not miss the deadline. No Chelsea news as of now. No, as of now means no Chelsea news. That's it. There has been no Chelsea news, yeah. Guys, it's deadline. I hope you all locked your teams. I hope you were able to make the right decisions. I mean, this deadline stream was a bit tough, to be honest with you guys. The questions like who should I start between Solanke and Palmer, between they were difficult. I mean, Darwin and Palmer, like in that sense, the questions were difficult, but we kind of got through it. Zara said locked. That's awesome. So I hope you were able to lock your teams, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I hope we answered your questions as we always do in a bit of detail. We try to provide always try to provide the reasoning behind my suggestions. Since we've got cup opponent doesn't have Watkins, so taking a punt on him. Oh man, didn't even check my cup. Oh, I don't even know what's going on with. Oh man, what the hell have I done? Tried to check my cup and now this has happened. Alright, let's just quickly go through the fixtures. I guess we just have like I have to rush. This New Year party. I guess not a New Year party, but a party at a friend's house. So I have to go there. So I'll quickly go through the predictions, and then let's wrap up. So many Alvarez captains, Foden captain, raise up. Well, that's insane. Thank you, says Zara. Cheers, my friend. Zaza says, cheers, mate, hoping that the arrows are green for everyone. Definitely. Not everyone, but everyone on the stream. Because if everybody gets green arrows, then, I mean, it's not possible, right? For everybody to get green arrows. Luton, 1-1 Chelsea. Right. Quick predictions, guys. Right. Everybody should make the predictions, please. So that let's make it more interesting. Luton versus Chelsea. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea are going to keep a clean sheet. I think Chelsea going to score 2 goals. Luton going to score 1 goal. So that is my prediction, guys. I'm not going to read your predictions, but please do make your predictions here in the stream. 1-1 says Sir Crocodile. George says 3-1. Surfro says 1-0 to Chelsea. Zara says 2-1 to Chelsea. Interesting, guys. So I mean, many except Sir Crocodile expect Chelsea to win. I'm gonna go with the 2-1. Aston Villa versus Burnley. I'm going with a fairly standard 2-0 win for Aston Villa. I think Villa's gonna beat Burnley, but I think it's not gonna be that simple. It's gonna be a difficult game because Burnley have been improving, especially in the away games, the way they play, the way they hold on to the ball. I think they can stop Aston Villa from scoring too many goals. FPL Jack says 3-0 to Chelsea. Lightre says 2-1 to Chelsea as well. So I've gone with a Villa 2-0, and Sir Crocodile says 3-1. Zara says 3-0. Juggernaut says 2-0 as well. Interesting. So we all expect Aston Villa to win. The only issue is whether they're going to keep a clean sheet or not. I think they will keep a clean sheet. I think Emery would want to come back to winning ways after after two disappointments in the past 2 game weeks. The third one, Crystal Palace versus Brentford. I guess it's going to be a 0-0. I'm going with it. They're both teams just struggling for form right now. Although, against Chelsea, it was a decent performance, but in the past game week from Palace, but they lost the game in the end. It was a late penalty, by Eze, I think it was. So I'm going with a 0-0 draw between Crystal Palace and Brentford. George says 2-1 frustrating Watkins and Villa defense. I think that could be very well the result, George. Sir Crocodile says 3-0 to Crystal Palace. Interesting. Zara says Palace 1-0. Jug says 1-1. George says 1-0 to Palace. Interesting, guys. Just got back from the cinema. Had to do my transfer during the movie. Well, that's the dedication we all have, right, Riz? I hope you enjoyed the movie, and I hope you were able to make your transfer in time. So nobody else thinks that it's going to be a 0-0 draw between Palace and Brentford, which is interesting. I'm still going to stick with the prediction that I make. I'm going to go with the 0-0 between these two. It's going to be an interesting game to watch anyway. And then the elephant in the room, which is the Alvarez captaincy. Manchester City versus Sheffield. Listen, guys, if you own only one City player and you haven't captained him, I'm not sure what... as long as we look at the effective ownership, I don't even know what to expect or what to want from this game. But since Alvarez is 34% owned and a lot of people captained him, I think his effective ownership will still be below 100%, which means that I'm looking for points from Alvarez. I'm going with the 4-0 win for City against Sheffield United. Let's see what happens. Sir Crocodile says 1-0. Rodri goal and Foden assists. Wow, that would be interesting if that happens. Although, Sheffield United have been a bit reinvigorated by the arrival of Wilder, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So 3-0, says Zara, Lightrays, and Jug says 4-1. Could it be a 1-1, a complete upset? It's very hard to see that, George, to be honest with you. City have been rampant. If they can go, away from home, against Everton, which have been reinvigorated in the past few weeks, and just absolutely play them off the park, I think against Sheffield United, expecting a 1-1 is too difficult. So I'm going to go with a 4-0 win for City. Let's see what happens here. Wolves versus Everton. I think Wolves will score and Everton will score as well. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Wolves. They've been good, Wolves, the past few weeks. Kuna has been really good, but the problem is I think they might be struggling without Hee-chan if he's injured, so that's something to keep an eye on. If Hee-chan is injured, then I'm going to go with the 1-1, and if Hee-chan is not injured, then I'm going to go with the 2-1 for Wolves. Let's see what happens. Sir Crocodile says 1-0 to Everton. Wow. 2-1 says Zara. 2-1 says FPL Jug as well. So Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. I think United are gonna be reinvigorated. George says 2-1 as well. Surfro says 1-0 to Forest. Wow. I think United have been... I think they will be reinvigorated a little bit with Sir James Ratcliffe coming and the fans getting more and more behind the team. I'm going to go with a 1-2 win for United. I think it's maybe a bit controversial looking at their form, but I think something has changed there. So I'm going with a 2-1 win for Manchester United. Surfro says 1-0 Forest. Sir Crocodile says 2-0 to United. FPL Duck says 3-1 to United. Yep, can see a 1-0 for Forest as well, says George. Interesting. 3-2 to Forest, says Lightre as well. This is one which is divided in opinions, like nothing else. Definitely would be interesting to see what happens here. On Sunday, we've got Fulham versus Arsenal. I expect Arsenal to win this game. I think Arsenal were good against West Ham, just not the cutting edge, you know. So I'm going with a 2-0 victory for Arsenal in this one. I think they want to bounce back as quickly as possible. Fulham have been struggling in the past few weeks. Otherwise, Fulham were a decent enough defensive unit. They could have troubled Arsenal. The past few weeks, it has been a little bit, you know, Fulham have been a little bit on and off. FPL Jug says 1-1. Zara says 3-0. George says 2-0 as well. Oh, I hope Arsenal win. 2-1 Arsenal says Light Rays. 3-0 Arsenal says Crocodile. I just hope for an Arsenal win, even if it is a 1-0. Although keep an eye on Willian. I think Willian would be a motivated man against Arsenal. You know, they never treated him well. We never treated him well. I mean, he never played well for us too much anyway, but we didn't even treat him well as well. So let's see what happens. If you see, I mean, Dinos Mavropanos scored the goal for West Ham United against Arsenal. He was the previous Arsenal player who we transferred to Germany, and then West Ham bought him from there. And you know, he was motivated enough to score a header. I mean, the game was all about Declan Rice against West Ham United, but in the end, it turned out to be Dinos Mavropanos against Arsenal. You never know what happens in these games. Spurs versus Bournemouth is going to be another interesting one. Many people have 3 Spurs players in Son, Richarlison, and Porro. You know, so I think Spurs are going to win this one. I think it's going to be something like a 3-1 for Bournemouth. I think maybe they can score 1 goal, but I think Spurs going to be too much for Bournemouth. They would want to come back to winning ways as well, and they'll have obviously Kulusevski will be missing, but I think they'll still win 3-1 Spurs. 2-1 to Spurs says Jug. 3-2 says Sir Crocodile. Tottenham win. Alright. 3-1 says Zara as well. I've gone with a 3-1 as well, yes. 3-2 Porro goal says George Lyle. That would be interesting. I love that. Many people have benched Porro for this game. Little did they realize, I mean, after conceding 4 goals and getting 1 assist, he got 2 bonus points. I mean, I would never bench him. Alright guys, Liverpool versus Newcastle really quickly. I guess Liverpool will win this game. I think the last time they played Newcastle, Liverpool were hard done by initially with the card, but then Darwin Núñez came on and changed the game completely. It was a very, very interesting one. And you know, they beat Newcastle. It was very interesting to say the least. I think it's going to be a goal scoring game. I'm going to go with a 3-1, I guess, for Liverpool. FPL Jack says 2-2. Surfro says 1-0 Salah penalty. 3-0 to Liverpool says George Lyle. That would be interesting. Zara says 2-1 to Liverpool. Lightrace says 3-1 to Liverpool. So Lightrace has the same prediction as me, 3-1. I think Newcastle will score 1 goal, but because Liverpool as a defensive unit, especially Gomez against Almiron, you know, and Gordon with Trent Alexander-Arnold roaming all over the pitch, I think they can get something. The last game of the game week in which I own only a goalkeeper, which is West Ham versus Brighton. I think West Ham are going to win this game, but it's going to be tough. I'm going with a 3-2 to West Ham. Sir Crocodile says 4-1 Liverpool versus Newcastle. So with the West Ham Brighton guys, I'm going with a very like a highly goal scoring game in 3-2 to West Ham United. I think West Ham are really good on their patch. You know, they've beat Manchester United, they beat Arsenal, they're looking good, you know. And Josh says Newcastle's away defense is awful, expecting at least 3 Liverpool goals. I agree with that. I've gone with a 3-1. I'm just thinking that Newcastle can score 1 goal against Liverpool. Their away defense has not been good recently. I agree with that. Sir Crocodile says I own Areola as well. Well, we're hoping for the best. I had him benched for the Arsenal game though. Dubravka did nothing. So yeah, guys, that was all. Sir Crocodile says West Ham 1 and Brighton 2. Wow, interesting. That is very interesting if that happens. Sometimes these mid-table or, you know, like struggling teams to get into the top 6, sometimes they'll beat a very good side and then they'll become complacent. So if that happens, then yes, Brighton can definitely win. Let's see what happens. That would be interesting to see. George says 2-0 to West Ham. Areola coming good as soon as everyone sold him for Dubravka. Well, at least I kept him, even if he was on my bench. Well, guys, so that's it with the predictions. And as I told you, I have to kind of leave for this party now. And so on this note, we come to an end of the last stream of 2023, guys. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending your deadline streams with me. I hope I've been able to add value to your FPL journey, as well as some excitement and some humor as well. So on that note, guys, I take your leave and I wish you all a very happy new year. May you have a very happy and a very prosperous new year 24. May you make resolutions that you're able to actually follow throughout the year, and look forward to another year of streaming on the deadlines with you in the same way. May the hours be green, guys. Have a great one and have a safe one. I'll see you obviously next for the next deadline stream in Game Week 21. Till then, take care and wish you a very happy new year. Bye bye.